Hi there, my name is Diane, but you can just call me D. Today I'm going to be talking about my TBR and do sort of a checking of where my TBR is at, how many books I've read so far, and just giving an update on the books I've been wanting to read this year, and have I done so, have I changed my mind, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be talking about my books that are on my immediate TBR. That means that those are the books that I want to prioritize reading first, because I do have, a lot of books from my bookshelves and just in my mind that I'd like to read someday, but probably not anytime soon. I had counted that the books that were on my immediate TBR were 18 books so far. Now I've received some pre-orders already. However, there are other pre-orders that I haven't received yet, so there might be more of those. I'm just not counting those yet in the checking, because since I don't have them physically, I'm not able to read them just yet. But so out of those 18 books, I was able to read 7 books so far, which is pretty good for me this year, just because I haven't been able to pick up books often. So reading about a book a month is what I've been doing. However, I'm trying to change that, and because I'm missing reading, so hopefully I can up that number a little bit. So I'm gonna be talking about the books I've read. So I've read, and it's not in the order that I've read them. So I've read The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward, and I think I really enjoyed that book. It's supposed to be horror, but it wasn't like as horrific as I was expecting to be. So in a way, it was good for me to start with this book. So yes, I really enjoyed it, and actually one of my pre-orders that haven't arrived yet is from Catriona Ward. So definitely an author that I will keep an eye out in terms of her next releases. Then we have The Hollow Heart by Mary Rutkowski. I enjoyed this one. This is the second book in the duology. The first one was a book that I really enjoyed, so I was very excited for this one. However, I found that in this one the two main characters are separated a bit too much, or at least for too much of the book, even though this is quite a small book. And I don't know, it wasn't as magical as the first book was. Not in the sense of having magic, but in the sense of the world and the writing and the feelings that it gave. So then we have the book of Cold Cases by Simon St. James, and honestly, this is not an author I'm gonna continue reading at all, just off of this one book. I really didn't enjoy it. I thought the main character was not very smart, the choices were not sound, the story was not great either. Actually, there's nothing I enjoyed about this book. It wasn't like the worst book I've ever read, it was just boring and didn't make sense, This is a book I bought last year, but I think I finished it like very super early January, so I'm counting it. This is Wicked Souls by Katie Wismer, and this is the second book in this series. It's basically like a dark academia, vampire, witches, werewolves, fantasy romance. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best, but I'm excited to see what comes next, for sure. All right, then we had The Bronzed Beast by Roshani Chokshi. And this was the finale of this trilogy, and I enjoyed the first one so much. I really liked the second one as well, in what it was doing and also what it was implying, that what was gonna happen, if that makes sense. In this one, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite, and I thought the ending was kind of disappointing. It wasn't as the ending was really fast, actually, even though it took a while to get there. So I think the pacing was a bit awkward in that one. Some things that I would have wanted to see were a little bit rushed, or we didn't see much of it. So it's still a good book. It's still a great series. I enjoyed it a lot. But not my favorite ending. Alright, the next one I've read was City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. I think I read this year, right? This is a middle grade book. It was fun. Not sure I will continue the series that's in that world. I was not really super interested in the story. I mean, it's not for me, it's not for my age, so it is what it is, but it was cute. It was fun. It was spooky at times. Yeah. This is the last book I've read. So this is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I cannot believe I spent money on this. And then I've been currently reading 2 books. The first one, I've been reading it for a little bit already. It's A Rune of Roses by K.F. Breen. This is a fantasy romance. I have been on page 114 for a while now. So, I mean, I'm pretty, into the story. It's just something that I will pick up when I need something a bit lighter, here and there. So it's not something that I really want to absolutely know where this is going. I got a little bit crazy in the part that I stopped at. But yeah, I'm still interested in finishing this book. It's just something that I'm not, it's more like a second book kind of read, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have your main book, and this is the side book. The main book for this month actually is Book of the Night by Holly Black, and I'm doing pretty good in terms of reading it. I'm about halfway through. I'm enjoying it a lot. I know it has gotten a lot of bad reviews, but I haven't really watched any of those reviews. I want to make my own opinion. So far, I'm enjoying it. Maybe the main character feels like, I'm too cool for school, but whatever. I like her, and I like where the story is going. The world building is a bit complicated, not really well explained, but once you're into the story, you just, kind of figure it out, and you just enjoy the ride so far. So I'll be interested to check out what the reviews, what the bad reviews are about once I finish it. But so far so good. So, and the books that are left on my immediate TBR are right there. So I'll just go over them quickly. The first one is A Spell for Chameleon by Pierce Anthony. This is the last book I need to read that is part of the favorite books of my partner, and so I just wanted to read all the books that he enjoys or that he had enjoyed a lot in the past. So I think I talked about this before. I was pretty well underway. I just lost my page and then forgot to pick it up again. So there's that. Then I have The Woman in the Library by Solar Gentle. This is a mystery set in a library, and I think it's a closed, what is it called? A closed location, closed setting, I don't know. But something in the library, a murder in the library, it just sounds great. So I'm excited about this. However, I'm probably gonna go with lower expectations just because, The next one is actually one of my recent pre-orders I just got. It is These Fleeting Shadows by Kate Alice Marshall. I think this is a bit horror. This is about a haunted place, maybe. So I'm super excited about this. Also, the cover is beautiful. I just love the color scheme. Then we have Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians by Brandon Sanderson, and this is his middle grade series, and that's the first book in it. The next one is The Fake Keeper by H.E. Edmond. This is the second book in the series, the sequel to The Witch King. T.J. Klune, Under the Whispering Door. What's that? The Darkness Outside Us by Elliot Schrefer. This is a sci-fi, romance sci-fi, something like that. Beautiful colors. Then we have The Dry by Jane Harper. This is, I think, a thriller or something like that, set in the desert or in a hot place. So I better I better read it quick because it's not going to be hot for a while here. Then we've got this chunker. This is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. It's a YA sci-fi. And finally, my pile is about to fall. This is Upgrade by Blake Crouch, and it's an adult sci-fi. So like I said, I've got many others, well, a few others on the way. I did do some pre-orders like this week, so anyway, so let me put those back. Hopefully you can tell that I've been trying to have different genres. You know, I've got some middle grade, I've got some thrillers, some mysteries, I've got some sci-fi, some fantasies, some horror. So all those, and some romance, so all those are genres that I enjoy, and I've been trying to have a diversity of genres just because I'm such a mood reader that when I put down a book, then I just want to make sure I've got a wide array of books that I can choose from that might appeal to me at a certain time, just because, you know, it keeps it fun. Something else I wanted to talk about is whether I am still interested in those books or not. Have I changed my mind in how I want to prioritize those? The answer is sort of. I would say that there's a lot of sci-fi right now that I haven't read yet, and sci-fi is a genre that I tend to want to read very sporadically. Like, it's not often. The premise needs to be something, either the premise needs to be amazing to me, or the author needs to be an author that I love. So definitely it actually might be the next kind of genre I pick up, but I'm still excited about those sci-fi books. Maybe the middle grade is not something I'm gonna pick up right now, but I do think I will want to pick it up when it's a bit colder outside, just because it sounds like it's gonna be a fun story, something that's like full of adventure and stuff like that. The one that I've changed my mind the most is probably gonna be T.J. Klune, just because I've heard a lot about that book being about subjects that I'm not really wanting to read about right now. I'm not really in the mood for it at all, so that's probably something it's gonna take me a bit longer than I was expecting to start to read that book. I think either the next one I might pick would be The Fake Keeper, just because I'm kind of in a fantasy mood, especially with Book of the Night, or Book of Night, whatever. Or it might be a sci-fi. But these Fleeting Shadows and anything that is kind of horror is something that is really, it feels like it's always, right now at least, it's always a genre that I want to pick up. So far so good. I haven't really changed my mind that much. It's just that in terms of what I thought I was gonna read ASAP, like as soon as I got them, changed a little bit. So I'm thinking once Book of Night is done, I might go into maybe something that's like a little bit lighter. So like I said, The Fake Keeper, or maybe a sci-fi. So that'd be cool. I also want to mention what is the book I'm the most interested and the book I'm the least interested. The book I'm the least interested, it's between A Spell for Chameleon and The Middle Grade. And that's because, well, first of all, I just don't like this. I just don't like mass market paperbacks, and so I just don't really enjoy reading that exact way. And I don't know, it's just like it was really good. I really enjoyed it. From what I had read, I really enjoyed it, and the humor was great. It's just that it's a bit convoluted, and I might be taking a bit too much of, brain power that I don't necessarily want to use or have when I'm picking up a book next. So we'll see about it. And like I said, the middle grade is just not something I want to read right now. And the book I'm the most excited about, it's gonna be sci-fi actually. It's funny. It's either gonna be Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I've just heard so many good things about, especially this first book and the second book. Not so much about the third book though. So look at me getting into a series that doesn't have a great third book. Nice. But this book, I just want to read it. Like, I've just heard so much good things about it. I want to see what's, the hype is all about. It's also like a big book, but people have been saying that they read it so fast. So that would be amazing. And also Upgrade by Blake Crouch for sure. Yeah, I think that's definitely the second book I'm gonna be the most excited about. I feel like I'm on a good on the uphill with my reading. I did have a couple of stud with the Book of Cold Cases and The House Across the Lake. Those were really bad books in my opinion, but I still enjoyed the process of reading, if that makes sense. I just really love a good hardback and just, in the morning, on the weekend, outside, just reading on my balcony with the sun just getting up, or at night in bed. I don't know. I'm just really enjoying reading, and I just want to make sure I make the effort to read, or not make the effort to read, but prioritize time for reading, just because I've been putting my brain off a lot after work, and I just feel like, books are great to do that to a point. Like, it's not as numbing as, watching YouTube or things like that, but it's still, propels you into a different world. So I'm excited about that for sure. So let me know if you have any books that you really want to prioritize this year. Where are you at with your yearly TBR? The books that you've really wanted to read this year, have you read them? Are you in the process of doing so, or did you completely change your mind on the books that you thought you were going to read? Maybe others came on your radar and you've prioritized those instead. I mean, it's totally fine. Go ahead and read the books that you enjoy. That's the main goal of reading. It's enjoying your book and getting something out of it. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of those kind of videos, make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. Bye.